they've got a strong team, and I think they're one that's going to be underestimated, especially going into the latter half of the season.
I think they look a completely different side, and I would not put it past them winning, 10 games in a row.
They were looking as a cert for the playoffs, not so much of a cert now.
He is the final piece of the puzzle. Make it happen, West Brom. If that happens, then without a doubt, there won't be a more pivotal player for their team's success.
If you can put someone who's in tune with Martin's philosophy, or a few players in tune with Martin's philosophy into that side, they're going to be very difficult to stop.
He's a national treasure. There's no two ways about it. Everyone loves to hear what he has to say. He's great value on the touchline. There's no better person in my mind.
Comes in, as I say, from absolutely nowhere, rocking them goggles and the long dreads. What a sight. What a sight.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Stopwatch. It's the championship show with a little twist. It's 5 topics, a 2-minute timer, and 2 hosts. And yes, it's a festive edition. I've got my Christmas jumper on. Justin is here too. We're Ryan and Justin from the Second Tier Podcast. Let's get right into it. After Fulham dropped points again on Monday, Justin, what's your prediction for the top 2? We'll start with Fulham first. How are you feeling about them? Do you still think they're the they're in the pole position?
Yeah, no, I do. I think Fulham are going to be a tough side to get out of that top 2 position. I think mainly because the quality they've got, and even in this bad run of form, they have shown that they can compete, that they can still create chances. It's just converting them at the right time. It's just not happened for them. I wouldn't put it all down to bad luck, but there are certain times where it hasn't been with them. You look at Sheffield United, for example, on Monday night, where Mitrovic hits the bar, could have rescued a point, and then Harry Wilson spoons the rebound over the bar. So they have been unfortunate. They will get back onto it, and I can't see them falling out of the top 2.
Yeah, they're still the most likely for me. They're by far and away the best team for me. And you're quite right. In the games where they have dropped points recently, they have still been the better team, and the results could have been very different on different days. So it's only a matter of time before they get back to normal for me. The other position is really, really hard to put down at the moment. Justin, which way do you think that's going?
It's up for grabs, and for that reason, I'm going to throw a wild card in, and I'm going to say Blackburn Rovers. I think the mix that they've got on the pitch, you look at Brereton Diaz, he's scoring all the goals. Defensively, they're looking sound. 5 clean sheets in a row now, and they're getting the big players back. Sam Gallagher's not played in the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks. Kaminsky's back into the side. They've got a strong team, and I think they're one that's going to be underestimated, especially going into the latter half of the season. So for me, I fancy Blackburn.
I'm also going for a wild card. I'm going Sheffield United. People may look at the table and think, wow, that is a big, big gap between Sheffield United and the automatics. But I think they look a completely different side, and I would not put it past them winning, 10 games in a row. They took Fulham to the limit, and not many teams have done that this season. And Sheffield United are going to come up against much poorer sides over the next few months or so. So Paul Heckingbottom's doing a fantastic job. He's finally getting the tune out of this team, and it's a very talented team, as we all know. So I think Sheffield United could definitely go the second half of the season and just be one of the teams to beat, really. Justin, what's the next topic?
With Sheffield United, Borough and Forest all in form, which side is at most risk at being left behind in the playoff race?
It's a really interesting one. The team who stands out for me is probably QPR. And the reason I say that is because while everyone else is doing quite well, obviously Sheffield United, Borough, Forest, you mentioned, QPR haven't been playing, and they've kind of just been sat there watching teams go past them in the table. And how much of an impact the postponed games is going to have, I'm not too sure yet. I think only time will tell with that. But it is worth saying, even before the games postponed, QPR weren't playing at their best. They were still kind of in second gear. We haven't seen top gear yet. And I think over the course of the season, if we don't find top gear, then it's going to cost them in the long term. So QPR are the one who stand out for me, Justin.
Completely agree with you. I think that you look at Rotherham last season and how much of an impact the postponed games had on them. It really did hold them back from really trying to hit the top gear, as you say, with QPR. And we've said before this season, QPR have struggled to get out of third gear, second gear, whatever that is. And they are a team that haven't played for 3 weeks as well. So that next couple of games is going to be a bit of a slog. The legs aren't going to be used to it, so they might find it difficult to get results. Another team I throw in the mix is Stoke. I think losing the amount of key players that they have is really going to impact form on the pitch. And it has done in over the last few weeks. They were looking as a cert for the playoffs, not so much of a cert now.
Absolutely. Which player will be most pivotal to their side's success in 2022, Justin?
I'm going to say John Swift at Reading. You look at how inconsistent or consistently inconsistent Reading have been this season. They had a really poor start where John Swift was playing out of skin, and then they started to get results. John Swift was still playing well, and then they dropped off again recently. For me, John Swift is going to be centre of everything for Reading going forwards, both creatively and goal scoring wise. I think if you take him out of that side, they're going to struggle because no one else has stepped up yet for Reading.
Absolutely. And they're looking dangerously over their shoulder, aren't they? They're probably
Mm-hmm.
the chief team at the moment who are going to give the bottom three any hope of staying up at the moment. You look at them and they are struggling. John Swift is the main man for them this season, hasn't he? Without a doubt. My player doesn't even exist yet. It's West Brom's future target man goal scorer. West Brom are so frustrating. All they need is this target man goal scorer. And if he comes, then who knows what wonders that will do for West Brom this season. They've created so many chances this season, keep bottling chances in games. And I think if they sort that out, then it will just make the other players around them so much more confident as well. Because the rest of the team's great. It is just that one player. Devil DK has been linked. Obviously, was at Barnsley last season. Is on loan from Orlando City. He's been linked with another move to join up with Valerian Ishmael. If that happens, I think he could make a world of difference at West Brom and make them back into the team that I think many people are expecting this season. He is the final piece of the puzzle. Make it happen, West Brom. If that happens, then without a doubt, there won't be a more pivotal player for their team's success in 2022. Justin, what's the next topic?
With January fast approaching, for which side is the winter transfer window most important and why?
I'm going to go with Middlesbrough. And I say that because I think Chris Wilder is all right with his side at the moment. But if he adds in 3 or 4 new players in January, I'm thinking a striker, a goalkeeper, maybe a midfielder, and maybe another midfielder actually as well, then we'll be talking about a completely different Middlesbrough team because they've got the skeleton of a playoff chasing side. When I say playoff chasing side, maybe even an automatic promotion chasing side. It's just lacking a few bodies here and there. So if Middlesbrough sort that out, then we could be seeing another side who could be completely different in the second half of the season. Middlesbrough can definitely be that because they've got everything apart from 3 or 4 new players, new manager, good squad. Make it happen. Justin, what do you think?
West Brom are the obvious ones with the mysterious target man, but the team that I've gone for is Swansea City, and I think that for us to really see Russell Martin and this team hit top gear, they really need 2 or 3, maybe even a 4th player to essentially get the best out of the team, because what he's done so far with the squad that he's got has been very good. So if you imagine if you can put someone who's in tune with Martin's philosophy, or a few players in tune with Martin's philosophy into that side, they're going to be very difficult to stop. And we've seen with the recent run of form that they are a side that do need a bit more quality. Another striker, another creative midfielder, another centre half won't go amiss, and then maybe another midfielder in the mix as well. So yeah, Swansea City could be a big January transfer window for them.
Finally, Justin, it's second tier retro time. My favourite bit of the show. Who is the biggest celebrity or personality in Championship history?
There are so many that pop into the head. Robbie Savage, JJ Kocher, but the one I'm going for is Edgar Davids, the Enama he brought to the Championship out of nowhere, signed on a short-term deal for Crystal Palace. He'd been retired for years at that point. Comes in, as I say, from absolutely nowhere, rocking them goggles and the long dreads. What a sight. What a sight. And the excitement I had in my face. Because he was there's no bigger celebrity, I feel. If you appear on a FIFA game cover than you are. And Edgar Davids, FIFA 03, he was there.
Edgar Davids, certified legend in football history, one of the most recognisable players ever. Hard to disagree with you. My answer is fairly obvious, I'm afraid. It's Neil Warnock. Everyone knows who Neil Warnock is. It's going to be, when he officially announces his retirement, if he ever actually does, it's going to be a dark day in football history because Neil Warnock is just a pure God amongst men. It really surprises me that he's never appeared on I'm a Celebrity. I think that is I'm a Celebrity's biggest mistake, not getting Neil Warnock involved, because he would just light the place up. He's a national treasure. There's no two ways about it. Everyone loves to hear what he has to say. He's great value on the touchline. There's no better person in my mind as the best biggest celebrity personality in Championship history, and there's no debate around it either. And that wraps it up for episode 15 of the Stopwatch. Justin, happy 15th birthday to the Stopwatch. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Drop us a like if you've enjoyed, and please subscribe for more content like this on the comment section. I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say regarding where your team needs to strengthen in January, which position you think would completely change your team in the second half of the season. Let us know in the comments below. We've been the Second Tier Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Second Tier Pod. That's Justin Peach 27. I'm Ryan Dilks 1, and thank you for watching.